And thank you. Good to see everybody. I've been quiet here so far. Susan and I both, this is our second online worship service today. So good to see you again, Susan. For many of you have met Susan. Partly, some may have met her at the retreat last fall. She came with us. But I just wanted to, and I think it was at that retreat that she got roped into coming and doing a guest speaking appearance for all the good folks up here in Ellensburg. Susan's from Yakima, which was supposed to happen last month, but didn't because of the, well, everything. But Susan did agree to come and do a presentation that she actually had. I hope I don't spoil your surprise, but it did with us in Yakima a couple weeks ago, and it was really a good presentation that I thought would be wonderful to share with everyone here too. And I just want to say, Susan is one of these people who just the world would be different if Susan was not in it, and that is true about the Yakima congregation, and I think the world in general. Is somebody who's she's been with the Yakima congregation since long before I've been there, but has been president of the board and served on every committee and has done so many different things. So we all love her very much down there. And I'm happy and I'm just very proud to be able to share her with everyone up here in Ellensburg too. So hope I didn't embarrass you too much, but I just wanted to say that and turn it over to you, Susan.
Thank you, Ken. The message I titled Thresholds, the Challenges and the Gifts. And we just this year started participating with the Soul Matters, which I understand you are familiar with. We don't have the worship materials, we just have the small group materials, but it's from the small group materials that I pulled for some of the content of this service. And Thresholds is actually the May theme, but it seems so perfect as I thought about this time. Just like our chalice lighting words said, that we have the space and the time, whether we chose it or not. We have this space and time to reflect on our past, our present, and our future, and to imagine where we might be going. So with that, Celtic mythology includes the notion of thin places, locations where the visible and the invisible world come into their closest proximity, and the veil becomes thin between the daily and the divine, or between the temporal and the transcendent, or between the irritating reality and the infinite whatever. Theologian Peter Gomes suggests that perhaps the ultimate of these thin places in the human condition are the experiences people are likely to have as they encounter suffering, joy, and mystery. So I suggest that this time, as we're caught waiting on the threshold between a past that will not be again, everyone says it's not going to be the same normal we had before. And between that and an uncertain future, this time can be our own thin time rather than thin place. Wherever we are in place, it's a thin time, a time to open our minds and hearts and souls and look through that veil between what is here and what is within. New York Times travel writer Eric Weiner, in his article, Where Heaven and Earth Come Closer, writes about some of his personal experiences of thin places. He describes such places as feeling awash in time. That's a common reaction to a thin place. It's not that we lose all sense of time, but rather that our relationship with time is altered, softened. In thin places, time is not something we feel compelled to parse or hoard. There's plenty of it to go around. Now, this certainly correlates with our lives now. Our normal activities often are suspended or canceled. We have a wealth of unscheduled time. time that can weigh heavy on us, or perhaps can, at least in part, provide us an opportunity. If we choose to mine this time for the potential richness of this thin time, Eric Weiner cautions us to approach with no expectations. Nothing, he reminds us, gets in the way of a genuine experience more than expectations. He continues, a thin place does not necessarily lead to anything as grandiose as spiritual breakthrough, whatever that means. But it does disorient. It confuses. We lose our bearings and hopefully find new ones, or not. Either way, we're jolted out of old ways of seeing the world. And therein lies the transformative magic. Thin places transform us, or more accurately, unmask us. In thin places, we become our more essential selves. Might not this thin time help us become our more essential selves? How can we get a handle on what might be our more essential selves? Well, Parker J. Palmer, renowned writer and speaker, educator and activist, founder of the Center for Courage and Renewal, offers 5 questions for crossing the threshold. How can I let go of my need for fixed answers in favor of aliveness? What is my next challenge in daring to be human? How can I open myself to the beauty of nature and human nature? Who or what do I need to learn to love next, and next, and next? What is the new creation that wants to be born in and through me? What is the new creation? This 5th question, the new creation that wants to be born in and through me, is a challenge to use this threshold not only for ourselves, but also for our world. Eric Weiner suggests maybe thin places offer glimpses not of heaven, but of earth as it really is, unencumbered, unmasked. What is our unencumbered world as we are separated from our usual busyness and commerce? We know we'll not return to the old normal, but out of that old normal, what is essential to reestablish? And what might we change? What new normal will we co-create? The idea of emerging from this threshold feels daunting. We can perhaps identify with another who stepped through a threshold toward an unfathomable journey. Bilbo Baggins, in the Fellowship of the Ring, counsels, "It's a dangerous business, Frodo, going out your door. You step onto the road, and if you don't keep your feet, there's no knowing where you might be swept off to." Maybe we can use our thin time to keep our feet so we can better guide where we might be swept off to. What can our understandings of ourselves and the world as we and our world have been, lead us to our understanding of what we and our world are now and what we and our world can be? Anne Hillman, in her poem, "We Look with Uncertainty," speaks to such questions. We look with uncertainty beyond the old choices for clear-cut answers to a softer, more permeable aliveness, which is every moment at the brink of death. For something new is being born in us if we but let it. We stand at a new doorway, awaiting that which comes, daring to be human creatures, vulnerable to the beauty of existence, learning to love. Learning to love. The truth is, indeed, that love is the threshold of another universe. Our challenge is to pause and calm our worries so that we might find in our current reality the gift of this thin time for spiritual growth. May we recognize our openness to truth and meaning as fueled by love, and may we allow the answers we find to be imbued with love. As expressed in the refrain of the upcoming song, We Shall Be Known, it is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive in this great turning. We shall learn to love, learn to lead in love. Jan, if you want to do the song.
You got it. By the company, we shall be known. By the company we keep, by the ones who circle around to tend these pies.
Jan, it's muted.
We shall be known by the company. It looks like we're having some sound issues. Let me try one more time. This is a beautiful video here. Okay. Let's try this. We keep by the ones who circle around to tend these pies. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds to change the life from deep within the earth. It's time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive in this great turning. We shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning, we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle around to tend these pies. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds to change the life from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive in this great turning. We shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning, we shall learn to lead in shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle around the 10 beats by. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we fight. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive in this great turning. We shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning, we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning, we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning, we shall learn to lead in love.